Hello guys, how are you? We start our lecture today regarding cyber law, and as you know, we discussed so many things before regarding cyber law, and this is week number 13, and we all in our curriculum we have 15 weeks. So 1 week after this, which is of week number 14, and after week number 14, we guys have your final examination, and the final examination was based on replaced on assignments, online assignments, which I already given it to you, and those people who has not submitted me their assignment yet, please submit it to me on time, so I will give you the grading. I will evaluate it, and I will give you the gradings, and vice versa. Okay, so we discussed so many things before. In the continuation of those lectures, again we start our lecture today, and our chapter name is Cybercrime Investigation Tools and Techniques Explanations. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss about the cybercrime investigation tools and techniques, and so what are the cybercrime investigation tools and techniques, and so what is this we have to cover up. So now, as you know, my dear students, investigation a cyber scene is not an easy job. For example, if you are a police person, if you are a cop, or if you are a lawyer, so if you are an investigator or a detective to detect something regarding the crime, it is not an easy job. It's a very very difficult job, by the way, but it requires of study to learn how to deal with hard cases, and most importantly get those cases resolved. So this applies not only to real world crime scenes but also to those in the digital world. Okay, so the table of content of this chapter is what is a cybercrime investigation. The second one we will cover up who conducts cybercrime investigation, what are criminal justice agencies, what are national security agencies, what are private security agencies, what is cybercrime investigation technique, what are the top 10 cybercrime investigation and forensic tools, what is SIFT workstation, what is X-ray forensics, what is digital forensic framework, what is oxygen forensic detective, what is open. We will also discuss what is open computer forensic architecture, what is bulk extractor, and what is exit tool, and vice versa. Okay, so these are the things which we gonna discuss in today's chapter. This is a thorough chapter, this is a big chapter, and this is a very very interesting chapter in my point of view, which gives you a detailed knowledge regarding cyber law investigation tools and techniques. So my dear students, as a new reporter come to the light and digital news agencies show cybercrime on the rise. Okay, so it clears that cybercrime investigation plays a critical role in keeping the internet safe. The traditional law enforcement agencies are now called upon to investigate not only real time crimes but also crimes on the internet. So many well known federal agencies even publish and update the most wanted list of cyber criminals. So in the same way, we have seen traditional criminals listed and publicized for years. So that's why today we all answer the question that what is a cybercrime investigation. So which means that it explores the tools and techniques used by public and private cybercrime investigation agencies to deal with different types of cybercrime. So before jumping up into the investigation part, let's go to the basics. A digital cybercrime, a digital crime or a cybercrime is also known as a digital crime. Okay, we can say this cyber in easy sense. This is also known as internet crime. Is a crime that involves the usage of a computer, phone, or any other digital device connected to a network. So these electrical devices can be used for two things. It performs a cybercrime, that is launched a cyber attack, or act as the victim by receiving the attack from other malicious sources. So therefore, a cybercrime investigation is the process of investigating, analyzing, and recovering critical forensic digital data from the networks involved in the attack, involved in the cyber attack. So this could be the internet and or local network in order to identify the authors of the digital crime and their true intentions. So cybercrime investigators must be experts in computer sciences, understanding not only software, file systems or operating systems, but also how networks and hardware works. So they must be knowledgeable enough to determine how the interactions between these components occur, to get a full picture of what happened, why it happened, when it happened, who performed the cybercrime itself, and how victims can protect themselves in the future against these type of cyber threats. So my dear students, who conduct cybercrime investigations? Criminal justice agencies. Criminal justice agencies are the operations behind the cybercrime prevention campaigns and the investigation, monitoring, and prosecution of the digital criminals. Depending on your country of residence, a criminal justice agency will handle all cases related to cybercrime. For example, in the United States, and depending on the case, a cybercrime can be investigated by the FBI, US Threat, US Secret Service, Internet Crime Complaint Center, US Postal Inspection Service, or the Federal Trade Commission. In other countries such as Spain, the National Police and the Civil Guard take care of the entire process, no matter what type of cybercrime is being investigated, and vice versa. So, my dear students, the national security agencies, this also changes from one country to another country. Every country has its own investigative agencies. For example, in the United States, this is known as FBI. This is the most world famous um, investigative or detective agency of the world. In Pakistan, we have FIA, Federal Investigation Agency. In Korea, they have also an investigative network. In your country, Indonesia, you have your own investigative network and you have your own name. Okay, so different countries have different investigative agencies, and those investigation agencies are very powerful. Okay, and they have a power to detect, because they have a techniques, they have the experts to do the techniques, and to find out the problems and the crimes, and to find out the criminals, or the detectives, or the thieves. Okay, so for example, an intelligence agency should be in charge of investigating cybercrime that has some connections to their organization, such as against its networks, employees, or data have been performed by intelligence actors. So in the United States, another good example is the military, which runs its own cybercrime investigations by using trained internal staff instead of relying on federal agencies, and vice versa. So the private security agencies are also important in the fight against cybercrime, especially during the investigation process. While governments and national agencies run their own network, servers, and applications, they make up only a small fraction of the immense infrastructure and code kept running by the private companies, projects, organizations, and individuals around the globe, around the world. So with this in mind, it's not a surprise that private security, cyber security experts, research companies, and blue teams play a critical role when it comes to preventing, monitoring, mitigating, and investigating any type of cybersecurity crime against networks. So systems or data running on a third party, private data centers, networks, servers, or simple home based computers. The wide range of cybercrime investigated by cyber agencies knows no limit, and includes, but is not limited to hacking, cracking, virus, and malware distribution. So DDoS attack, online frauds, identity theft, and social engineering, and vice versa. So, while techniques may vary on the type of cybercrime being investigated, as well as who is running this investigation, most digital crimes are subject to some common techniques used during the investigating process, which also as follows. For example, background checks. These are the checks which creates and defining the background of the of the crime, and with unknown facts, which helps investigators to set a starting point to establish what they are facing on and how much information they have when handling the initial cybercrime report. And the another one is information gathering. Okay, information means data gathering, data means information. Okay, so information gathering basically is one of the most important things any cybersecurity researchers must do to grab as much information as possible about the incident. Okay, was it is an automated attack or a human based targeted crime? Was there any open opportunity for this attack to happen? What is the scope of impact? Can this attack be performed by anyone or by certain people with specific skills? Who are the potential suspects? What digital crimes were committed? Where can the evidence be found, or do we have access to find such evidence sources? So these are the other questions are valuable considerations during the information gathering process. A lot of national and federal agencies use interviews and surveillance reports to obtain proof of cybercrime. Surveillance involves not only security cameras, videos, and photos, but also electronic device surveillance that details what is being used and when and how it is being used, and all the digital behavior involved. One of the most common ways to collect data from cybercriminals is to configure a honey spot that will act as a victim while collecting evidence that can be later be used against attacks, as we previously covered in our top 20 honey pot articles. Tracking and identifying the authors, this is also a very important thing. This next is sometimes performed using during the information gathering process. It depends on how much information is already on hands in order to identify the criminals behind the cyber attack. Both private and public security agencies often work with ISPs, which is networking companies, and to get valuable log means information about their connections, as well as the historical services, websites, and protocols which is being used during the time they were connected. So this is often the slowest phase, as it requires legal permission from prosecutors and a court order to access the needed data. The another one is the digital forensics. Once researchers have collected enough data about the cybercrime, it is a time to examine the digital systems that were affected, or those supposed to be involved in the origin of the attack. This process involves analyzing network connections, raw data, hard drive, file systems, and coaching devices. So RAM means random access memory. ROM means read-only memory. So in the computer there are two things. The first one is the RAM. The other one is the ROM. RAM means random access memory. ROM means read-only memory. So these are the two things which a memory will cover more and more things, more and more data, more and more information. So once the forensic work starts, it involved the researchers will follow up on all the involved trials, looking for the fingerprints and system files, networks, and service logs, emails, web browsing history, etc., etc., and vice versa. So these are the top 10 cybercrime investigation and forensic tools. Cybercrime basically investigation tools include a lot of utilities depending on the techniques you are using and the phase you are transiting it. So however, note that most of these tools are dedicated to the forensic analysis of data once you have the evidence at hand. So there are thousands of tools for each type of cybercrime. Therefore, this is not intended to be a comprehensive list, but a quick tool at some of the best resources available for performing forensic activity. Again, another cybercrime investigation technique is SIFT workstation. So what is SIFT workstation? This is basically SIFT workstation is a forensic tool collection created to help incident response teams. So this is an incident swift information in incident response team, and forensic researcher examines digital forensic data on several systems. So this is a forensics tool. SIFT Workstation is a forensic tool created to help incident response teams and forensic researchers, which examines digital forensic data on several systems. It supports different types of files, such systems such as RAM, which is known as the random access memory, and raw data. Okay, so which means that when it comes to evidence image support, it works perfectly with single raw image file. So another important features include latest forensic tools, cross compatibility between Linux and Microsoft, Windows option to install as a standalone system, and vast documentation to answer all your forensic needs and vice versa. So another technique is X-ray forensic techniques. X-ray, you also know X-ray, these are the rays which gives us the inner body overview, a picture of inside the body of any organism. This software is one of the most complete forensic suites for Windows based operating system. Okay, it is widely supported for almost any version of Windows, making it one of the best in the particular market and letting you easily work with versions such as Windows. Okay, one of the coolest feature is the fact that it's fully portable, making it possible to run it from a memory stick and easily take it from one computer to another. So its main features includes ability to perform disk cloning and imaging, read partitions from raw image files, HDDs, RAIDs, arrays. So okay, so these are the things which is belongs with X-ray forensics. And then CAIN, CAI, yani CAIN is another technique. CAIN is not a simple cybercrime investigation application or a suite, but it's a full Linux distribution software used for the digital forensic analysis. It works for the live CD and can help you to extract data created on multiple operating systems such as Linux, Unix, and Windows. File systems, memory, or network data extractions. CAIN can do it all by combining the best forensic software that runs on both command line and GUI based interfaces. So it includes popular digital crime investigations applications such as Sluit Kit, autopsy. Autopsy is for the postmortem. Postmortem is an investigation, because if somebody will be assassinated or somebody will be murdered, so the hospital or the criminal investigation agencies will do the postmortem, which is known as the autopsy. Okay, this is a very hard topic of the crime, and but this is life. Everything is happen. So Wiresharks, photo records, and many others. So the digital forensic framework, which is known as DFF. Okay, DFF is also a technique which is known as digital forensics framework. Basically, this is the computer forensics or open source software that allows digital forensics professionals to discover and save system activity on both Windows and Linux operating systems. It allows researchers to access local and remote devices such as removable devices, local drives, remote server file systems, and also to reconstruct virtual disks. Okay, so when it comes to file systems, it can extract data on both active and deleted files and directions, and it even helps to inspect and recover data from memory sticks, including network connections, local files, and processes. Again, there will be a thing which is known as oxygen forensic detective. Oxygen forensic detective, my dear student, this is a tool, is one of the best multi platform of forensic applications used by the security researchers and forensic professionals to browse all the critical data in a simple place. So with the oxygen forensic detective, you can easily extract data from multiple mobile devices, drones, and computer softwares. Okay, including grabbing passwords from encrypted OS backups, bypassing screen lock, or on Android, getting critical call data, extracting flight data from drones, user information from Linux and Windows computers. It also supports IoT devices data extraction, etc. So the Open Computer Forensic Architecture is known as OCFA. So OCFA is also a technique which is known as O for open, C for computer, F for forensic, and A for architecture. So this open for computer forensic architecture is a forensic analysis framework written by the Dutch National Police Agency. They developed this software in pursuing the main goal of speeding up their digital crime investigations, allowing researchers to access data from a unified and UX friendly interface. It has been integrated into its part of the core of many other popular cybercrime investigation tools such as Sleuth Catch, Photo Record, and etc. So while the official project was discontinued some times ago, this tool is still being used as one of the top forensic solutions by agencies from all over the world. There are many other related projects that are still working with OCFA code base. Those can be found at the official website at source fog and etc. So bulk extractor is one of the most popular application. This is also an application which is used in the cybercrime investigations for extracting critical information from digital evidence data. It works by extracting features like URLs, emails, credit cards, numbers, and many more ISO disks. We can say this disk images and directories or simple files, including images, videos, office based, and computer files. So it is a tool that serves not only for data extraction but for analysis and collection as well, and it's one of the best attributes to its wide support for almost OS platform, including Linux, Unix, and Windows, all without problem. And then there is another application which is known as skiff tool. It is written, skiff tool supports extracting skiff from images and videos, common and specific metadata such as GPS coordinates, thumbnail images, file type permissions, file size, camera type, etc. It also allows you to save the results in a text based format or plain HTML. Okay, so Surface browser is your perfect ally for detecting the full online infrastructure of any computer and getting valuable intelligence data from DNS record, domain names and their historical records, exposed domains, SSL certificates, data, and more. Okay, so analyzing the surface of any company or domain name on the internet is an important as an analyzing local drives or RAM mistakes. It can lead to finding critical data that could link to cyber crimes. What can you do with Surface browser, etc., etc. Okay, so these are the things which we gonna discuss in today's chapter regarding cybercrime techniques which is used in the cybercrime investigations, and there are many cybercrime techniques which we use today, and these are the techniques which is commonly used in the cybercrime investigations. And I hope you learn this, you enjoy this lecture, and this is a very interesting course, and this chapter is also very interesting. And we this is our second last week, we can say this, because of the coronavirus, COVID-19. All semester is online, we already know. So there will be one last week which will be the week number 14 for our studies, and week number 15 according to our syllabus will be the final examination. So our final examination, again I am repeating my message to you, that it replaced on your online assignments which I already submitted to you on your cyber YSU website. Yes, I received your assignments, but if some of the students who have not submitted me your assignments, so please send it to me as soon as possible, and ignore this message who already submitted to me, those students, and I will evaluate it. I'm evaluating it which I received, and I will evaluate it which I will receive your assignments, which if somebody left has not has forgotten to send me your assignments, so I will evaluate it and I will give you the gradings accordingly. So there will be no final exam. The final exam is based on your assignments and your projects, and vice versa. So I hope you will learn this semester. This is an online semester. Online learning is also a very helpful learning, and because of this pandemic disease, of this coronavirus disease, and this learning, we enjoy this learning. We gain a lot of knowledge in this semester and in this chapter also. Okay, so in the meanwhile, we will continue to be continued towards the next week. Till then, goodbye. And again, if you have any question, any ambiguity, or any difficulty regarding any concept which you will not understand in this lecture or any other previous lecture, you can send it to me a message or email or in the a comment section in the cyber YSU comment section column. Okay, so I will receive it and I will send you the answer of your confusions or your questions. Okay, so thank you very much. Till then, goodbye and to be continued.